What if I told you creating your best life in 2025 is not about making New Year's resolutions? What if I told you that creating and aligning with your most powerful life is about timeline jumping to the highest timeline where what you desire already exists? Welcome back to Spiritual Ride Podcast. I'm your host, Alyssa LeBlanc. If you're new here, my name's Alyssa. I am here to remind you of who you are and what your true powers really are, because you are a spiritual being having a human experience. Okay, so 2025, how do we make sure that this is the year where we actually live our most desired reality? If you're anything like me, there has been periods in my life where I felt like I was living the same life over and over because I was existing on one timeline of reality. And why was that? Because I was thinking the same thoughts, I was feeling the same feelings, and I was behaving as that person that was living in that reality. In order to quantum leap to a new reality where you already have that which you desire, there is one thing that's very important for you to do and one thing for you not to do. And I'm going to share that with you today. So first of all, quantum leaping. Quantum leaping is the idea that there are parallel realities going on all around us, and science even proves this. There are multiple versions of you living completely different lives based on thoughts you're thinking, the frequency you're holding, how you're behaving, and what you believe to be true about reality. So when you want to get to a new level of reality, it's not about just taking action over and over again. It's not about making a New Year's resolution and deciding that you're going to stop doing something or you're going to start doing one thing, because as you see, most people don't really hold on to their resolutions. And it's not about just imagining what you want. What you need to do is, the one thing you need to do in order to quantum leap to the new reality is you need to actually embody the frequency, embody the energy, and embody that version of you that's already living that reality. Because these parallel timelines exist on different energy frequencies. And how we jump to these realities is by embodying these frequencies. And like I said, embodiment is about the thoughts you're thinking, what you're feeling, what you're vibrating, what frequency you're on. And it is about action. It's about behaving like that person that already has it. The reason that you have to behave like this version of you is because that is going to align your frequency to that timeline and you're going to jump. The real reason why you want to use quantum leaping to create your best life in 2025 instead of creating a resolution is because quantum leaping is about an identity shift. The reason why most resolutions don't work is because people don't change themselves at the identity. They might, for example, decide to lose weight or get in better shape. So they sign up for the gym, which is just taking an action. They might go to the gym for a little bit, but if they don't have the identity of someone that works out or someone that is healthy or someone that cares about their physical fitness, they don't have that identity piece. And by February, they're going to stop going to the gym. They're not going to complete the resolution, and they're going to live that same life over and over again. The same is true if you're trying to manifest money or if you're trying to have a new career. If you don't have the belief that you can be that person that has that career, you might be taking actions like sending out your resume or trying to start your own business or any sort of just action in the physical space, and you're not going to actually jump to the reality where you have that dream career because you don't have the identity of the person that has it. If you are trying to jump to a reality where you are with your soulmate, you might be taking the action by going out on dates. You might actually get into a relationship, but if you haven't shifted your frequency to that person that believes they deserve to be with their soulmate, that feels good enough about being with their soulmate, or you haven't cleared out the limiting beliefs that you have about men or women, you don't have the identity of the person that lives in that reality. So that's why identity is so important for quantum leaping. When you have shifted your thoughts, feelings, frequencies, and behavior to match that version of you, even if you haven't taken enough quote unquote physical action that most people would tell you to take in the physical realm, it's almost like it's not even going to matter, because quantum leaping is about jumping to a reality that is so different from yours that it almost seems like it happened too fast, that time and space don't exist because you got there by shifting your frequency. When you shift your frequency and your identity to match the version of you that's already living that reality, it's going to happen a lot faster than just taking the physical actions, and it's going to work better because you're not actually having to create anything new. You are just jumping to the reality where that already exists for you. Because if you can imagine something in your mind, there's a version of you already living that reality. If you have been trying to quantum leap for a while and it's not working, it's usually because you have not used all the components. You don't have all the ingredients in your soup. You might have tried to quantum leap in the past by doing like a quantum leap meditation, which is good because it can shift your frequency and your belief for a limited amount of time. It can get you to imagine and see yourself living that life. But if you are not doing all of these things, you don't have all the ingredients for the soup to actually jump to that reality. For example, you might be acting like the version of you that lives in that reality. You might be taking actions to start your own business, but if you have limiting beliefs about business or money or what it means to own your own business, that is going to hold you back, and your subconscious is not going to feel safe to live in a reality where you have your own business. The same is true for relationships. You might be going out on dates and meeting people. You might be an amazing catch, but if you have beliefs about men or women, whichever one you're dating, that is going to hold you back because you're not going to be either believing that good men exist or that good women exist or that good people exist, or you might be believing that being in a relationship is not safe. So whenever you get close, you're going to self-sabotage yourself, or you're not even going to be aware of your soulmate. This totally happened to me. I was only aware of people that were bad for me. I went through many years of my life where I thought I was manifesting, jump into the reality where my person was. I would even manifest people that I guess I would co-create a reality with people that I did want to date. So it was like I manifested it. But there was something about me that was only able to be attracted to people that were bad for me because I didn't clear out the beliefs of what I thought about men or beliefs about relationships, or I didn't believe I was worthy. Or you might have the opposite. You might have done a lot of shadow work and uncovered a lot of limiting beliefs, and you might feel like you've cleaned up your beliefs, and you believe that it is possible for you to have a great relationship, or you believe that it is possible for you to have abundance, but you're just sitting at home visualizing and you're not actually acting like that person. You're not going to be able to quantum leap to that reality. If you've been doing this sort of work for a while and it hasn't happened, you're likely missing one of these steps. So what do we need to do? We need to clear our limiting beliefs. We need to behave like the version of us that has it. We need to think thoughts like the person. And what can help you with this is visualization is a really great tool. Seeing yourself in the picture of what you want, because the more you start to, and use feeling while you're doing it, the more you start to feel like this is your reality, the more you're going to start thinking thoughts like the person. But it's also really important to behave like that person. I believe that if you were to make choices for the first month of 2025, make decisions based on that version of you while you're clearing limiting beliefs and shifting, up-leveling your frequency, it's going to be easier for you to quantum leap. How do you up-level your frequency? I'm so glad you asked. So in order to up-level our frequency, to raise our frequency, clearing limiting beliefs is great. Doing shadow work really does raise our frequency because we're getting rid of beliefs about ourselves that no longer serve us. We're getting rid of a lot of the guck in our lives, creating boundaries, letting go of people, places, and things that no longer feel good to us. Whenever we have objects in our space that don't feel good, whenever we're in friendships that we've outgrown, or even relationships that we've outgrown, we need to let things go. When you let things go that are no longer serving you, you are going to raise yourself up to a higher frequency. So this is really about embodying the version of yourself that lives in that reality. And that's going to bring me to the thing that I told you, if you want to quantum leap in 2025, you must not do this. This is the thing that you have to let go of while you are thinking, feeling, and acting like the version of you that already lives in that reality. So there's a Greek myth about a man that went into the underworld to get his wife. And apparently Hades said, you can take your wife back up to Earth as long as you don't turn back and make sure she's behind you until you both reach the surface. What does he do? He turns back and she turns to stone and is lost forever. The point of this story is really about faith. So oftentimes when we are quantum leaping, the one thing that's missing, like I said, is the belief. The belief that that reality exists and that the belief that we are in that reality. You have to have faith and hope in that new timeline, in that new reality. Oftentimes, we are so close to quantum jumping. We are raising our frequency so much, we're starting to believe in this new reality. And that is one of the missing factors, is you have to believe in this new reality. When I made my biggest quantum leap 2 years ago, I realized shadow work did help. Letting go of things that no longer served me helped. I was having literal dreams about the life I'm living now, and they didn't make sense. I started to believe so much in that reality that I started to just feel like I was already living it, and my life changed dramatically in 3 months. It just, like, quantum leapt to, shouldn't have happened that fast, but I was quantum leaping. That's because there was a version of me giving me dreams about my life, saying this actually exists on another timeline. And the thing that helped me quantum leap the most was I believed in that reality so much because it existed. And then I quantum leaped. And a bunch of other weird stuff happened. Like, I got to this reality, and a person I know used to have a tattoo, didn't have it anymore. That's another story. Like, memories between me and other people we didn't have the same memories. It's like the Mandela effect. Like, I'm absolutely sure that I quantum leapt to another reality, and I am a different person now, like completely different. So you've got to do this work to embody the new version of you and believe in it and know that it's possible, and don't look back, because when you look back, you start to lose faith and you start to lose belief, and you're focused more on the reality that you're in. Both realities exist. Multiple realities exist. When you quantum leap to one reality, you start to believe more in the power of quantum leaping, and it's easier for you to create more change in your life because you see that you are co-creating your reality. You see that your frequency is shifting you to other dimensions. It's also possible to quantum leap to a reality and then to dip back because you don't have the faith strong enough, and you're not holding the frequency strong enough to be able to stay there. So that's why you can't look back. You have to begin co-creating your reality in your mind, in your body, in your feeling, and believe in it so much that when you get there, it's natural because you've raised your frequency up to that version of you that's living that life. And that's how you stay there. You're not making a resolution to stop doing something. You've shifted yourself at the identity level because you're thinking the thoughts, feeling the feelings, and embodying that version of you that lives in that reality. And that shifts your frequency to match that version of you that lives in that reality. And then you merge with them and you've jumped. So make this the year that you quantum leap. Make this the month that you quantum leap to the reality you want to live in. Show yourself that what you're imagining, it exists on another timeline. Show yourself that you are that powerful, that you just start believing that you are that version of you, start behaving like that version of you, and jump. Much love.